Hey friends, welcome back. Well, it's just me today because I'm starting a new series and it's called Sip Some Tea with Abby. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there and join the fam on Instagram and TikTok because we always keep it interesting on there. So I had asked you guys, what are some topics you want me to cover? Okay, what do you want to know about? What do you want to know about unfiltered? And all I got was pregnancy, the real behind pregnancy, delivery, and postpartum. Those were the top topics. My son's third birthday is coming up this summer, so it's been a while since I was pregnant, but I wrote down everything I remember, and I'm gonna tell you everything. I wasn't always so confident to speak about everything, but now I really am feeling it. I'm just gonna jump right into it. And mamas who are pregnant, couples who are expecting, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you want to add into this. Let me know what you know right now and what you're dreading or what you're expecting will be wonderful after your baby's here. Let me know. So there are a lot of things that when I was pregnant, I was like naive about. I don't know if that's the right word, but we're keeping it unfiltered here. And there were a lot of things that I was like, oh, okay, I know exactly what I'm gonna do in that situation. And everything just flipped upside down. So I'm gonna tell you how it really is. And those of you who maybe this topic is not for, I'm really, really sorry, but this was honestly one of the top requested topics, so I'm sorry. Hopefully there'll be other topics that you like in the future. So finding out that I was pregnant. Well, the story starts all the way back in 2017. I was 25 years old. I definitely felt like I was young at the time, too young for any real responsibilities. That's what it really was. And I just got married to the love of my life and we moved in together. We basically weren't home any weekend during that summer. We were out and about, we were experiencing life, we were traveling, we were doing it all. Around October, I can say that I was starting to feel a little bit weird, like my body was feeling weird. I had always experienced anxiety and nausea that was associated with anxiety, okay? So this was kind of common to me. I was always feeling kind of like nauseous in the mornings and stuff, but I didn't really think too much of it. November 2017, I started a new job, a job that I really liked, but the start time, well, for me to get to that job, because it was like halfway across the city, I had to wake up at like 6 a.m. And I'm not like a morning person or anything, but I would feel very nauseous every morning. I really didn't think too much of it because I had felt like this before. Even when I used to write exams and stuff in university, I would feel very nauseous. So I was like, okay, whatever. You're so weird. It was a very uncomfortable feeling. I do remember that. So fast forward about, I think like the end of November that year, I was like, okay, things are getting really weird. Like I was actually like vomiting and stuff. People who have had like blissful pregnancies, I'm jealous of you, okay? Because there's like so many symptoms that I was experiencing, like hyperpigmentation, just weird things that I was like, maybe I'm pregnant. And I was really like feeling that. And there was like this one day that I was at work and I was like Googling everything, like all my symptoms. And I was like, you're pregnant, you're pregnant, you're pregnant. I was like, shit. I wasn't ready to take on the whole mom role at the time. I was like a very nervous person. I just didn't know if I would make a good mom. That was basically what it was. I remember going home and like ordering a pregnancy test on Amazon. And when I got it, I took it and it was like, it didn't even wait. It was like positive, like bam. I did another one, it's like positive, like hella positive. And I don't know if other people have felt this before, but like I always thought that I wouldn't be able to get pregnant easily for some reason. It's just like something that I always had thought in the back of my mind. So yeah, it was quite a shock for me. This is the situation right now. 2 lines. And it it means I'm pregnant. And I remember Vith was going to play basketball that night, and I feel so bad because I didn't do anything like nice to like surprise him or anything like that. I really wanted to do something nice for him, but in that moment, like, he's my best friend, so right away I kind of just like turned to him and I was like, I'm pregnant, you know, like it was just like this big shock or whatever. And he was like, what? Like, when did that happen? I was like, I don't know. Anyhow, he went to go play basketball with his friends and he came back and he was like, you know what? I'm ready to be a dad. And you know, he is like the best dad ever. So it's so interesting that he just like really like switched that on. But I felt like I was struggling with the whole thing. Maybe because my body was changing, and like my initial reactions was like, obviously I felt blessed, but I did feel super scared at the same time. I didn't even have like a family doctor or anyone that I can call up or anything like that. I was on the hunt for a good family doctor, but I just never came across one. And it's funny because I did this like quick Google search to find somebody because I needed to go in for an appointment and figure my life out, right? And the life of my unborn child. So anyways, I found this doctor who was like young, she was cool. We vibed right away and I was like, okay, like where have you been all my life? But she basically was like, you're 4 months pregnant. Just a little disclaimer, I'm not one of those, at the time, I wasn't one of those people who had like a regular cycle. Is that weird? I don't know. Basically, my period would show up sometimes and it wouldn't show up sometimes. So that wasn't like weird for me to miss periods. So yeah, that's what it was. And like I said, I had just started this really cool job and I was so nervous to tell them at the time. I remember being so scared. I was like always every morning to Vith, I was like, I can't say it today. I would make some excuse and be like, I'm gonna say it next week or whatever. On the other end of all this, like me finding out I was pregnant and all that stuff, I was like, oh, like my parents, my family, Vith's family, our friends that we love so much, we wanted to tell everyone, but at the same time we're like going through this so fast. I don't know if other people have felt like this, but I'm sure like couples have. When you find out you're pregnant, you feel like a ticking time bomb. Like, I don't know if I will feel like that for my next baby, but I will explain why. But I did feel like that with Zay because it was like, my place was not baby proofed. I had nothing for this child. All I had was like, I was busy just partying and traveling and doing all that stuff. So I was just like really nervous. So anyways, that Christmas, we decided to surprise our parents and our like family members. And we printed out like little ultrasound pictures and everyone was so shocked. They were not expecting it at all. They were like, what? They didn't even get it at first. They were like, no way, right? I think my mom had a feeling because I would go like see her and stuff and hang out with her and I would be like acting weird. She'd be like, oh, do you want some wine? And I'd be like, no. Or like I had weird aversions, like food aversions. So I would look at certain foods and be like, no. Or like even coffee, I didn't even like coffee. So she was like, you're being weird, you know? But like, I feel like just moms just know their kids, right? I remember I was so shook that even to my brother, who's like my best friend, I just texted him. I just texted him that I was pregnant and I was just like, oh my gosh, and like freaking out rather than making it this like nice surprise or whatever. Like, you're gonna be an uncle, but he was like, what? Like, he was shook too. And same with my friends. Like, I was just like, I'm pregnant. Like, I just like blurted it out. Obviously, if there's another time, I'm gonna do something nice for them. You know, they've been such amazing aunts and uncles to Zay, but like I feel like I didn't do anything like nice to tell them that, you know, you're gonna take on a special role right now too. Okay, so we're going into my pregnancy now. I thought I was like showing or whatever, but I had this like tiny little like bump. It wasn't even a bump, it just looked like a food baby or something. Like, I was definitely not showing when I was pregnant. So I started taking myself way more seriously. I remember thinking, you know, I have to figure things out. I felt extremely motivated. Like, I don't even know where that came from. It's like moms have this like superpower that just like comes out, okay? And I just felt like I just really need to get my stuff together. And I feel like my baby at the time, it's so weird because like it's Zay, but like I didn't know it was Zay. And I used to call him my mini. So my mini at the time like was helping me to be this like motivated person that I feel like I always wanted to be, but I just didn't like push myself. So this was kind of like a reason to get it all together. I felt like these are things that I went through. I felt like I was going through this whole nesting phase. The space that I was in wasn't like very baby friendly at all. So we wanted to move. We were trying to move at like 7-8 months pregnant. Maybe even later than that. I think we moved in like May of 2018. So yeah, very close to baby's birth. And through this whole thing, I ended up having or developing really high blood pressure. So my OB, who was amazing through everything, she was so comforting, she was very compassionate, and she would take my blood pressure and be like, I could see that she's like freaking out. It was very high, very high. I'm known to stress myself out for no reason, so that was probably the reason. We tried our best to stay, you know, positive, and that I think at like 33 weeks, my doctor was like, you know, you might have to deliver soon if your blood pressure remains this high. There was a lot of stressors at the time. I think a lot of our family and friends, like this was such a quick transition, and a lot of them were not going through something like this, that like they were expecting the old me, like the one that can like stay up really late, that can do anything, that can go out and hang out. But that wasn't me anymore. I was literally in bed at like 10 p.m. I was working this job. I was trying to figure out how to start my business with my lovely, lovely husband. There were so many things that we were working on, especially because we felt so motivated, that it just like took away from that whole lifestyle that we were leading before. Now that I look back, it was such a sweet and innocent time. That's what I can describe it as. And to couples who are experiencing, you know, pregnancy, just enjoy it. I know everyone says that. I remember even when I was pregnant, I would hear like, oh, just enjoy this time. You know, after the baby comes, you know, it's hard. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, it is a sweet and innocent time. You know, you as a couple, you're going to grow, right? And if you're doing it alone, kudos to you, but it is still a sweet and innocent time. You're feeling your baby's movements, you know, the kicks, the little things, all that good stuff. Just focus on being healthy. Eat what you want to eat, you know, listen to your OB, all gonna be fine, and stay positive. That's yeah. Before I would think of all the negative things that would happen. So I think that really wasn't good. So stay positive. So with my blood pressure being so high, I made it to 37 weeks, and I remember it was the one appointment that I went to without Vith. He was working at the time, and it was like a Tuesday morning or something. And my OB looks at me and she's like, you need to go to the hospital right now. You need to get your butt to the hospital right now. And I was like, what? And she's like, your blood pressure is so high, like you might even deliver today. And I was like, what? This is crazy. So I literally like called my dad, I remember, and I was like, oh my God, like this is what they're saying. And he was like, yeah, you know what, tell Vith, and then go to the hospital and see what happens there. That's it for today. I'm sorry for cutting it, but cliffhanger. If you want to find out what happens, stay tuned for episode 2. But for now, subscribe to our channel and join us at Trend Family on Instagram and TikTok, because we keep it very interesting there. See you next time.